So sit back, relax, it's prep time.
Prep Weekly is brought to you by the Chicago Sun-Times. To get a better handle on prep sports, get your hands on the Chicago Sun-Times.
All in all, I think that the kids are about the same. They probably have a few more things to occupy their time, but they are certainly dedicated to the game, and then when they're out there on the court, they're giving it their best shot, and you never have to worry about anybody slacking off. They're always going to give you the effort, and I think that's what the big thing is for us.
Of course, your career is not over. You got a lot of big games left, and tonight is one of the biggest. Elgin, second ranked, unbeaten, a great player in Sean Harrington, averaging about 24 points a game. This has got to be the kind of game that a coach like you just relishes to get into, prepare your kids, really get excited about it, and just can't wait to get involved with. How do you prepare for Elgin, and what's the game plan?
Well, it's certainly the biggest game of the year for us. We get to play a team that's highly ranked. I think they're rated second at the moment. They have won, I think, 16 straight now. They're certainly the favorite in each game they've played so far. Our boys are looking forward to the opportunity to play a team of that caliber. I feel as though we have a lot of opportunities here that we haven't had in the past. We've struggled from time to time. We've lost 5 ball games, and I think our boys would like to have the opportunity to play a team like this, and I think they'll play at their best come Friday night.
You've scouted them. What's the key? Do you have to keep the ball out of Harrington's hands, or just what is a key in a game like this when you know you're going up against somebody who is a dominant type of player or can take the game away from a team at any point?
Well, there's probably no stopping a player like Sean Harrington. He generally is going to score regardless of what the situation might be. He's averaging almost 25 a game for the season. We try to hold him down to his average or a little bit below if we can. And if we can keep him, say, under 20 points, we'd be very happy to do that. We also want to do a fine job on the other boys that they have. They have some boys that are kind of unsung heroes. Brent Gooden is in the middle, and he's been a starter for him for 2.5 years now, and he's a very solid inside player. And they have some outside people that are just coming along. You have 2 sophomores that are playing better and better. Marcus Washington is Marcus Howard. His father played here at St. Charles, and I've enjoyed watching him grow up and learn to play the game of basketball, and actually he was probably the player that beat us last time. He had 4 for 4 from the field, and I felt bad about us losing the game, but I was awful happy that he was so successful, and you can see that he's going to be a future star.
Well, good luck to you tonight. Good luck in the rest of the season. Good luck in your retirement. You certainly earned it. That's my Friday Conversation. I'm Taylor Bell, Chicago Sun-Times high school sports columnist.
Thank you, Taylor. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Prep Weekly. I'm Jeff Beck. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back live at halftime with the Ganella Halftime Scoreboard, where we'll have all the final scores for this evening's top 25 ranked teams. Right now, though, let's go out to St. Charles, where Bill Hazen and Bob Hallberg are standing by to bring you our Prep Game of the Week.
Welcome to the campus of St. Charles High School, where tonight we will be seeing undefeated Upstate 8 leader Elgin in action as they invade St. Charles. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Bill Hazen. Welcome you, as always, to our high school game of the week, and joined as always by Bob Hallberg. And Bob, as we go into and look at a game like this, these 2 teams have met before. Elgin won the first meeting. This is a game that St. Charles, as far as the conference is concerned, they really need to have it tonight. They have to have the game. They've got the home court going for them tonight, Bill. They've been very successful here over the years playing Elgin at home. And, of course, Elgin's got everybody gunning for them now. Undefeated. When you're sitting at top, everybody's coming at you with all their weapons. Bob, Elgin features one of the truly great and highly heralded players in the state of Illinois, a junior guard by the name of Sean Harrington, who has just been a delight to watch. Well, Sean is one of the best juniors in the state. What makes him so tough to stop is his heart. He's always got the ball in his hand. He's a tremendous creator going to the basket. He can also come outside and is a great three-point shooter. Now, St. Charles counters with a guy who's having a tremendous senior season in forward Eric Dodson, and he's playing quite well. I'm looking for Eric to have a good game tonight, Bill. He's going to go head-to-head possibly against Sean tonight. Although he plays the forward spot, good three-point shooter himself, puts the ball on the floor, and is a good rebounder. Bob, Elgin is coming into this game undefeated, and there's a lot of tradition in the Elgin high school system. They're off to their third best start ever, 16-0. Is there a tendency to get a little bit complacent when you have such a strong record? And if so, how do they avoid that type of problem?
Well, Bill, you can't relax when you're on the top. You've got to stay intense. You can't start believing your press clippings. Look, also, they got to have a good shooting night tonight. One thing about Elgin is they shoot a very good percentage at 45, but against St. Charles is one of the better defensive teams in the conference, only giving up 32% from the field. Look for some double teams tonight. They're going to try to get the ball out of Harrington's hands. Elgin's going to have to handle a trap.
Well, St. Charles, obviously, they want to reverse the situation from when these teams first met. What do they have to do in order to do that, Bob?
They like to score in transition, Bill. They like to get up and down the floor. Look for them. They're going to have to do something with Harrington, saying they're going to shut him down, but they're going to have to contain him, take a couple of points off their off his average, and then look for them to do a lot of trapping tonight to take the ball out of his hands.
All right, well, stay tuned because we will have Upstate 8 action featured on tonight's High School Game of the Week next.
What makes an ordinary guy an extraordinary sportsman? The right gear, top-notch equipment, and a rock-solid understanding of what you're doing out there. That's why you need Outdoor Life, to guide you along every step of the way. For under $1 an issue, we'll prepare you to become the extraordinary sportsman you know you can be. As we reveal answers to the whats, whys, wheres, and how-tos of angling, so you can become the true fisherman you want to be. If hunting is your game, let Outdoor Life awaken your instincts for tracking whitetails, muleys, and elk. You'll even learn what it takes to nail that elusive tom. With Outdoor Life, you'll know what's new in gear and equipment, what's happening in your area, plus everything from the care of your rifle to choosing the right 4x4. Call now and you'll also get this rugged Outdoor Life gear bag, free with your paid subscription. Don't wait. Call now to take advantage of this great offer from Outdoor Life. Become an extraordinary sportsman. Call for Outdoor Life now.
That's the thing about Brown's. It tastes better. If Brown's chicken is what you crave, now's the time to come in and save.
Right now, for just $8.99, enjoy 8 big pieces of crispy Brown's chicken in any large side order. Try one of our new ones like Caesar salad, broccoli and cheese, green spinach, or hot cinnamon apples. Just $8.99.
That's the thing about Brown's. It tastes better.
Chicago sports fans are known across the country for their savvy. What's the primary source of that savvy? The savviest sports writing team in Chicago, the staff of the Chicago Sun-Times sports section. It's a team that writes with style and substance. A team that doesn't just cover, but uncovers, too. A team that's concise, precise, and feisty. Come on now, get savvy. Get hold of the Sun-Times today.
We have a great atmosphere here tonight in St. Charles. It is a full house and the heat rises and it is warm in here. No chance of anybody getting cold because this building is red hot as we see Elgin and St. Charles in action tonight. Bill Hazen back with Bob Hallberg. Let's take a look at the starters that we'll see in tonight's game. And certainly Elgin has a very, very talented cast. They're young, despite the talent that they do have. And Harrington, of course, stands Sean Harrington, but Mike Roth, who plays a good player. Ludeman is probably the brightest young man on the team, 33 in an ACT, and then Ebert at center. St. Charles countering with an outstanding season from Dodson, who's been playing so well. Kwiatkowski's a key man certainly in the game. So those are the lineups that you will see tonight as we get ready for basketball. Here are our officials tonight, Dave Lanning and Jim Filson. So away we go as we'll get this game underway tonight. St. Charles in their home white, the Elgin with their traveling maroon. In there to jump, it'll be Gooden who tips the ball to the sideline for Elgin. It went out of bounds. Gooden, 6'5", in there on the opening tip. And so the ball goes to St. Charles, and Bob, they're off to a good start. They have the first possession of the game. So we'll look at man-to-man pressure here initially as St. Charles goes on the attack. Good backdoor feed. They didn't have anything for Franco. We'll keep an eye on Jason Franco. He's a heck of a ball handler. Halia Now look inside Dodson from the low post. The jumper goes down for Phil Kwiatkowski. He has the first 2 points of the game, and the fans really explode here as we get this game underway.
One of the things, Elgin is not too tall of a team, so Kwiatkowski at 6'7" on St. Charles kind of looms about with a 2 or 3 inch height advantage over Jim Ebert, who will probably be matched up against him.
Yeah. And Kwiatkowski can, as you take a very good look at Ron Johnson, the Fighting Saints head coach, and Ron comes from a basketball family. Long jumper wouldn't go, tipped around, and the Maroons still have it. The jumper wouldn't go down for Paglia, and then tipped out of bounds. It'll go over to St. Charles. They'll have it back as Brent Gooden missed the shot. Jim Harrington in his 13th year at Elgin, a product of Illinois Benedictine class of 73. Former coach at Weber. And as you said, Bob, about his teams and the way they hustle, that's been characteristic not only at Elgin. Good backdoor cut, and they get the basket with it. Dan Jones coming right down the lane, and it's a 4-point lead. Elgin still not on the board, and right now we're about 1:10 old in the game. Happy to have you with us for the prep game of the week. Talking about Jim Harrington and how intense his players are. Good move to the baseline, and it finally goes down for Gooden, who missed the earlier jump, and that makes it a 4-2 ball game.
Right off the bat, what we see St. Charles trying to do, Elgin is noted for their pressure, so we see a couple series of backdoor cuts right off the bat. They're trying to extend Elgin out and then go backdoor on him.
Jump shot on the way from the angle. It's an air ball for Franco, and Elgin comes out of there with it. Elgin undefeated. They got behind the defense, but the shot wouldn't go down. Three-pointer on the way, and it's hit.
You can't leave him that wide open at the top of the key. You've got to pay attention all the time to where Harrington is. You've got to overplay him, not sink off and help out. You've got to cut his average down, play him tight man-to-man defense.
Sean Harrington delivers, and it's the first lead for Elgin 2 minutes into the game. But Jim Harrington was telling me that his hope in a game like this, a long three-pointer, what a shot! As Eric Dodson dropped it in. That was from way out there. Drive, that was from Barrington. I think he shot that one in from Barrington. A foul was called, and that was swella, fella. That was like a good-tasting loaf of Canela bread. Foul was called.
But we see both of the primetime players on each team, Dodson and Harrington, getting on the board early in the ball game. Both teams you have to expect big games out of both of their top players tonight.
So we've had 2 3-point Ganella bombs right off the bat here in this game. And I'm going to give you the burning question of the night right now, Bob Hallberg. How is a loaf of Ganella bread like a drum with a hole in it?
Give me the halftime on that one, Bob. I've got to put some thought into that.
Yeah, please do. But don't hurt yourself in the process, will you? Kwiatkowski looking to feed it. Jones working around to the other side. Tried to lob it inside for Kwiatkowski, but he was pushed off the block a little bit. On the attack, Gooden. Elgin with a 1-point lead. Tried to feed it over, and Ludman had to go out and chase it down to get it into Sean Harrington's hand. This guy is a load, one of the best guards in the state. There's no question about it, and he's only a junior. Gooden didn't connect on it. Rebound taken out of there. St. Charles has it back.
Not a real good shot, Bill. Just kind of tiptoed up and kind of threw the ball up there. Not real good form or follow through on the shot. Kind of a quick shot, hoping it would go in.
Paglia feeds it through to Franco. Franco looking for a target down on the block. All of their players moving. They get it down for, again, the target was Dan Jones on the block, and it was stolen away. Elgin has the ball back. Harrington spinning, kicks it out. And a blocking foul called on the drive by Gooden, Brent Gooden. So, foul was called there. Hey, we'll remind you that the Ganella Baking Company, we baked the differ since 1886. Take a look at this series. The 83rd meeting tonight. And a very, very interesting series. Been tight as you could ever want. Been great. Harrington from the baseline puts it up and in. Dodson, by the way, got that last foul. Harrington from the baseline now has a 6-point first quarter. And Bob, if the game plan is to try to stop Harrington, it's going to be a very, very hard thing to do. The hook shot didn't go down.
Well, he's always got the ball in his hand, Bill. You've got to pick him up tight and pay a lot of attention to him. He's so versatile, he can go in either direction. Now, there's good defense. That's what you've got to do against him. You have to get a hand in his face.
Over the back there is Ebert got it. That's his first and the team's first. And we'll remind you once again that Ganella brings you our prep game of the week. The Ganella Baking Company. We bake to differ since 1886. And you know it's swell fella when it's Ganella. You want a hamburger to taste better than ever, you put it on Ganella bread, and it will. Ganella, the best bread you can buy.
And I'll anxiously be awaiting the answer to that Ganella question.
From the baseline, oh, it bounced every which way for Dan Jones, and it wouldn't fall. That was a foul. There was contact underneath, and it looks like a St. Charles player guilty.
Hey, Bill, as we watch Sean Harrington, again, what makes him so effective, you'll always see the ball in his hand. It seems like about 85% of the time in Elgin's offense, he's got the basketball. So it's not like you got to run him off a pick or off a screen, and your defensive players are fighting through those pick and screens. He brings the ball up a lot of times and goes right into his offensive shot.
Yeah, there's his father. A good look at Jim Harrington. Played basketball and baseball for a kind of a legend at Benedictine, Tony LaScala, if you remember him.
Did many battles against Tony when I was at St. Xavier in Chicago State.
Oh, yeah. Drive down the lane, and the two-pointer goes in for Gooden. Gooden and Harrington have all of the Elgin points, and Elgin now leads it by 3. Bill Hazen, Bob Hallberg, welcoming you to our high school game of the week. Kwiatkowski on the drive, and it's stuck up there. Well, they pulled it right off, and play on, the official said. I've never seen that happen before. That is a first. Jump shot didn't go. Kwiatkowski grabs the rebound after the miss.
Now here comes the up-tempo part of St. Charles games. I'd like to get the game moving down the floor at a little faster pace, but you've got to stop Elgin from scoring to do that.
Dan Jones from the baseline. Left it short, and one shot only as Elgin able to get it out of there. Long lead pass, and a layup for Ludman. His first 2.
Good assist by Harrington. You saw the St. Charles players coming back in transitions with their back turned to the ball. You always have to know where the ball is on the floor.
That makes it a 5-point lead. Timeout taken on the floor by St. Charles as they find themselves trailing here. Ludeman is the third player to score here. Very quiet. Number 1 in his class, Bob, academically with a 33 ACT. He also participated in the three-point contest at the United Center this year. So that's the story on him. A very, very special guy and a part of their starting lineup. Insure One, the insurance superstore. Are you tired of tackling those high insurance premiums? Tomorrow morning, dial 1-800-INSURED and start saving money right away. It's Insure One, 1-800-INSURED. That's how to get the best rates on your automobile insurance. Kwiatkowski feeds it across. Dan Jones up and firing. Kwiatkowski tried to tip the miss out of bounds, and it goes to St. Charles. So they have it back. It looks like St. Charles does have an edge on the boards, Bob, if they can take advantage of it. They're averaging 36 rebounds a game to 32 for Elgin. They're a little bigger, looks a little more physical.
And that's exactly why they're trying to go inside somewhat early in the ball game. They realize that Elgin is giving up about 1 or 2 inches. If they can get the ball down in the low post area, it could be effective.
Dan Jones looking inside. Three-pointer on the way. Kwiatkowski drills it, and fella, that is swella, just like a great loaf of that great tasting Ganella bread. Wow. 6'7", and he drills it from out there. Not too bad. Ludman feeds it over to Gooden. Looking downstairs. Foul line jumper on the way. Didn't go down for Elgin as they have Marcus Howard in the lineup. Ball went over the sideline. Marcus Howard is a 4th-generation Elgin high school player. We'll talk about that in a little further detail. But what an amazing story about this young man as he has come into the lineup. Also Marcus Smallwood, he has the ball stripped out of his hand to the sideline. Out of bounds Elgin. Marcus Smallwood, just a sophomore, leads the Upstate 8 in blocked shots. He's averaging almost 4 a game. There's a good look at him, as you see. Inbounds pass, Harrington. Wanted to go up with a great defensive play. What a defensive play by Jason Franco. Quick hands of Jason Franco, very evident right there.
Well, he's going to be one of the keys to the game tonight, Bill. He looks like he's, been given the assignment of stopping Harrington. How well he sticks on him is going to be important.
Had to fight through a screen right there. He stayed with him. Now Smallwood sets a screen. Feeds it out front. Ludeman, little passing game action. Three-pointer by Harrington didn't go. Rebound taken out of there by Dodson. In the attack, Jones lets her go. Hits it! Jones with 4. We have a tie game. How about that? Marcus Smallwood. Up it goes. Nope, didn't get it. Rebound brought down. One shot, and that's it for Elgin right now. Thanks to Eric Dodson grabbing that rebound. Dodson, the number 2 rebounder on the team at 6'3", Bob. He's averaging over 5 a game. Dodson, very well covered there. Go downstairs, and foul called as Dodson was trying to get loose.
Dodson at 6'4" shows his versatility. After hitting a 3-point shot earlier in the ball game, they put him down low in the post, and as you see the feet coming in, he's got good moves in the low post area. They double team him and just pick up the easy foul.
Marcus Howard picked up the foul, his first. Witkowski feeds it out front. Dodson trying to get it down on the block. Jones with it. Didn't get it. Witkowski bats it out, but right into the hands of Marcus Howard. And Harrington will bring it up the floor. He's dangerous from anywhere. Nice, strong drive. Ball stripped out of his hands, out of bounds, St. Charles. Boy, you've got to give a lot of credit to Jason Franco, and he got some help in there, Bob.
I think he got a little help. I also think he got away with a little contact on that one, Bill. I mean, as Harrington went to the basket, something happened there. Either had to be a block or a charge.
Hey, let's go down to Dan Richmond on the sidelines. Good evening, Dan.
Guys, Elgin coach Jim Harrington is not at all pleased with his team defensively. He's telling his players, don't touch, don't touch. You're playing defense with your hands, not your feet. He wants his team to overload and play better D with your feet. Back to you.
All righty, and I think the crowd heard that one, as a matter of fact. A drive to the baseline. Foul was called.
That seemed like it was coming over the PA system, Bill.
I think it was. Oh, my goodness. Smallwood got the foul on that drive. Well, that's good. The fans will know what's going on. I like it.
We will, too, maybe. I'd like to know what's going on.
Oh. Up front, it's Eric Dodson. Ball fed underneath. They're trying to send Jones. Jones was trying to post Ebert in there.
And what they're doing, too, Bill, is they're putting 4 people above the free throw line and trying to run that isolation down low. So they're trying to put their offensive post player in a position where Elgin can't give any help. So look for the post player to be down there all by himself, one-on-one against Elgin's defensive post player.
Tied at a dozen. 7 seconds to go. Ball tipped over the sideline. And how about that? St. Charles gets it back. Great opportunity here, Bob.
First time we saw a zone that time. St. Charles switched to a 1-3-1, and it worked because Elgin threw the ball out of bounds.
Franco brings it up quickly. Lets her go. Missed the shot. Quarter's over. First quarter after Dodson's missed shot ends, and we have had just the type of game that we expected. First quarter score, Elgin 12, St. Charles 12.
Chicago sports fans are known across the country for their savvy. What's the primary source of that savvy? The savviest sports writing team in Chicago, the staff of the Chicago Sun-Times sports section. It's a team that writes with style and substance. A team that doesn't just cover, but uncovers, too. A team that's concise, precise, and feisty. Come on now, get savvy. Get hold of the Sun-Times today.
You depress the accelerator and it opens up on an endless straightaway. Chevy Malibu, so smooth and comfortable a drive that if your fingers weren't on the wheel, they'd be interlocked behind your head. You reflexively squeeze your companion's hand in the spacious passenger seat as if to say, what a great day to be alive. To which the perplexed Chevy salesman to your right responds, I take it you're enjoying your test drive.
Stop by your local Chevy dealer today for low financing on the Chevy Malibu. If you love the outdoors, then you'll love the Chicagoland Fishing, Hunting, Travel, and Outdoor Show, North America's largest outdoors event. Shop from over 2,000 booths packed with the latest in fishing gear, boats, travel and resorts, charter boats, and more. All at special show prices. Fill all your hunting needs at the AM 1000 Hunting Pavilion, featuring bows, guns, camo, outfitters, and camping gear, priced to fit any budget. Meet one-on-one with your favorite pros, including Babe Winkleman, Fish Fishburne, Chuck Adams, and Fred Luger at the free fishing and hunting seminars, or test your skills at the special events, including the Sports Authority Trout Pond, the Cadence Kennel Daily Herald Dog Demonstrations, AM 1000 Shark Mania, the Outdoorsman 3D Archery Range, the Sports Authority Hog Trough, AM 1000 Dart Archery Video System, the Daily Herald Casting Pond, and the Historical Fishing Display. Plus, every day, the first 1,000 attendees get a free gift. It's 250,000 square feet of nonstop family fun. The Chicagoland Fishing, Hunting, Travel, and Outdoor Show. For tickets and information, call 800-323-5155, 800-323-5155.
Say, give your workouts the soy advantage. Burn fat, build lean muscle, improve overall strength and performance with ProVantage. Call their toll-free number and find out more about ProVantage. It's 888-982-LIVE. ProVantage. And for those of you high school students who would like to get some exposure with college coaches, or for college coaches looking for good talent, here's a good way to get that merit in the spotlight. It's a computer service. Check it out at their spot on the net or call 888-374-3038, and they'll be happy to give you details on what is a really, really terrific program. Good look at Ron Johnson, the head coach here at St. Charles. 702 wins, Bob. He's been incredible.
Takes a few years to get all those victories. It isn't done overnight.
Well, you're certainly right about that. All right, into the forecourt we go now. Elgin on the attack. Harrington for three. Sticks it. And that was swell, fella.
Bill, I still say you've got to pay some attention to a great player like that, and everybody seems to play him straight up. I think you're going to have to go a little bit more trapping and double teaming to get the ball out of his hands.
Harrington gets the rebound after Kwiatkowski's miss. That was as swella as a loaf of Ganella. You know that. Mike Roth feeds it. They're on the attack. Smallwood up for the shot. Got it off of the glass, didn't go down. Rebound comes out to St. Charles, and they are on the move. Boy, listen to this house. It is live in here tonight. Get a feeling for the crowd. It's standing room only. It's a great, great crowd. Out on the block, tip to the sideline. Out of bounds. Out of the hands of Eric Dodson.
That time Elgin was able to give nice help, Bill, because the pivot player on the weak side offensive forward was not up above the free throw line, so the Elgin forward was able to come over and give nice weak side help and knock the ball out of bounds.
For those of you just joining us, Elgin was out in front by 5, approaching the end of the first quarter, and St. Charles came roaring right back. We have a 3-point Elgin lead based on Sean Harrington's three-pointer beginning the quarter. And so that's where we stand right now. Bill Hazen, Bob Hallberg, happy to have you with us as always for the high school game of the week here every Friday night here on good old Channel 38. Drive inside, and the shot. Marcus Howard has his shot stuffed right back in his face. Jump shot won't go for Palya, but Palya chased it down. Jeff Palya, the senior, quick and a solid defender. Dan Jones, nope. Kwiatkowski, no. And out of bounds to St. Charles. How about that? If you are a fan of basketball, keep tuned to Multimedia Cable. Game of the week, Channel 43, Marist and Brother Rice. Saturday and Sunday, 8 p.m. Bonin and Barry Shaw. And Wednesdays at 6:30. That sounds like a pretty good lineup. Dodson feeds it up to the top. And Jason Franco. Good screen there. Three-pointer wouldn't go down, though, for Palya, but they got the shot they wanted, I thought, there, Bob.
Both teams are executing their offense very well. They're both getting good looks at the basket. Harrington more or less comes off the dribble. They do a lot of screening for Harrington.
Ball nearly taken away. It is taken away. The drive and score. Palya with his first 2 of the game.
Right now, Bill, I'd have to say of the two teams, St. Charles is the much quicker on the floor. They're beating Elgin to the loose balls on the floor.
Harrington, the backdoor pass, almost stolen away. In the lane, another block shot. And Harrington got the rebound and knocks it down for the 2. He's in double figures with 11. And that makes it a 3-point lead in favor of Elgin. And they are showing why. They are undefeated, 16-0. Boy, they really have a nice team, and they're fun to watch. from the baseline. Jump shot left short of the mark. And they're all up and down trying to get the rebound. Harrington feeds it ahead to Roth, to Ebert. Offensive foul. His second. Pretty good charge there by Dodson. He took the charge. You're looking at him.
Well, he just got positioned in there, stood his ground, and Ebert just can right over on the top and knocked him to the ground. Good call.
Boy, I talk about Dodson and what a tremendous all-around player he is. Now you can see what it's all about. He's a defender. He's tough. He'll take the charge. Dodson, he's had some great games this year. Dodson, that's a two-pointer. Didn't get it. Tipped, nearly tipped in by Dan Jones. And Harrington brings it up the floor, gets the screen from Smallwood, fake to put it up. Smallwood on the back door. And foul called on the process. It looked like they were going to get Smallwood on the back door there. The foul's called against Kwiatkowski, his second, and the team's fourth. Boy, I'll tell you, coming in here to play is not easy. Ask Elgin all about it. This is their 20th trip in here with a 4-19 record since 1977. And that tells you this is a hard place to win. It's hot, it's close in here. It's everything you think of high school basketball in the wintertime. Long three, and it's good. That fella is Swella. 7 points for Brent Gooden, and that's as good as a loaf of that good tasting Ganella bread. Once again, that burning question, Bob Hallberg. How is a loaf of Ganella bread like a drum with a hole in it?
That's what I've been pondering sitting over here. That really disturbs me till I come up with the answer to that question.
Well, you look very disturbed, too. But that's your normal look.
I'm normally disturbed.
Downstairs, look out front. That's Howard with it. Ran out of real estate, fed it into the backcourt. This will be an over and back, and Harrington picks it up, and that brings Jim Harrington off of the bench. He wasn't too happy about that.
Well, you don't like an unforced turnover if the team is playing really tough defense and forcing you into that, but he got caught on the baseline, jumped up in the air, which is a cardinal sin in basketball, had nothing to do with it, and just lofted to the backcourt.
So the inbounds pass. St. Charles has used just 5 players the whole game. Now they have a substitute in the lineup. Rob Clem is in there. He has the ball. His shot was blocked. Smallwood. Holy mackerel, did he get up there. Smallwood was anything but small. Harrington missed the 3. Clem with a rebound. Rob Clem, 6'7", 245 pounds. What a tight end this guy would make. Ball taken away. Behind the back dribble for Gooden. Driving, blocking foul. He'll get to the line as he was driving for the basket.
I don't know if I want to get in Gooden's way too many times, charge into that hoop, Bill. He puts the ball on the floor, big, strong guy. Earlier in the ball game, I thought that's all he was going to do was pound the ball into the pavement. But he straightened up and took a 3 earlier, so he must have the inside-outside versatility.
Dodson picked up his second foul. That's important for St. Charles. He certainly can't afford to get a third. And you wonder now at what situation you start to make some protective substitutions for your key players. The Maroons will go to their bench, and Dustin Ackman, he is a senior, 2-sport athlete, also plays baseball, and he's a good one. On a lot of these, players like this, on a lot of programs, they'd be starting, Bob, at a lot of other schools. They're that good. Smallwood, and hits the jumper.
Well, Elgin always uses a lot of players. Each year, Coach Harrington has a way of substituting where he usually puts 7, 8, 9, 10 guys into a ball game each night. So you're going to see a lot of fresh bodies in the game for Elgin.
Oh, yeah. Dodson with it. Dodson really hasn't gotten on track as of yet. He did, however, have the 3-pointer early in the game. Jumper by Jason Franco didn't go. Rebound, Clem in there, put it up and in. Clem, the big man, and he has 2 right there. They say he's pretty raw. He's only just a sophomore, Bob.
He's a big sophomore.
Oh, I'll say. He's had a little Ganella.
I think he's had a lot of Ganella.
I agree with you. Roth.
He knows the answer to that question, I'll bet you.
I'll bet you he knows the answer to that question we're working on tonight. Move down the lane, 3-pointer on the way. Doesn't go for Ludeman. How is a loaf of Ganella bread like a drum with a hole in it? Here's the answer for you, Bob, because like a drum with a hole in it, Ganella can't be beat.
Now I get it. Okay. I should have thought of that.
But it's true. It's true.
Well, I'm glad you ended my suspense early.
I said I'd get to it before halftime. We have about 1:48 to go, so I was running out of time. Our score, 22-16 in favor of Elgin here. Underneath. Good move by Dodson right to the hoop. He'll get foul shots out of that. I think it was Howard, Marcus Howard, who fouled him. And Howard was caught in a pretty tough spot there. His second, team's fifth.
That time down, Bill, there was a little change in the offensive pattern of St. Charles. The last 3 or 4 times they were having a very difficult time getting the shot off. They were kind of standing around, pounding the ball into the ground and driving. This time there was a lot more movement. It's almost like they went into a motion type of offense to get all their 5 players moving. They're just having a hard time getting good looks at the basket against the Elgin defense.
Dodson's a good foul shooter, 4th on the team at over 70%. Good all-around player. Both of these schools are very proud of their tradition. They've had a lot of state champions and trophy winners here at St. Charles. They're one of the top 10 schools, I think currently ranked number 6th in terms of the number of state trophies. When you consider that they won their first trophy in 1969, that's saying something. The lob for Smallwood. He almost jumped out of the gym and puts it in. Smallwood with 4 off of the bench.
Elgin runs a real nice pick and roll, and St. Charles had it scouted. They played it perfectly that time. Smallwood just out-jumped his defensive player and got the basket.
Oh, he's a load, isn't he? And Smallwood, remember, is just a sophomore. Jump shot went down. Dan Jones, he has 6.
Now, as they come down the court, you'll always see a series of picks to start Harrington. There's always a screen. They come over for the double team, and that leaves somebody open. I'd like to see them do more of that. You've got to get the ball out of Harrington's hands. He's too dangerous.
3 shots at it. They didn't get one to drop. So now up the floor comes St. Charles. They are on the attack. Dodson. Really, I think for St. Charles to stay in this game, Dodson has got to be very, very productive for them. He had an opening for just a second. They didn't get him the ball. On the baseline, Ludeman feeds it. Out front it goes. 3-pointer on the way. And that's swell a fella. As Ludeman, as Jason Franco drops it in, his first points of the game. That is as good as the taste of Ganella bread.
Now you'll see a last-second shot here by Harrington. I would rather, now they go into a zone to stop his penetration here. They don't want him driving to the basket for the last shot, so they're going to go zone. Let's see who takes it.
Harrington gets it back, lets it go. Didn't get it. Rebound taken, and that's the end of the first half as Dan Jones got the rebound after Harrington's miss. Man, what a solid first half that we have seen, in a tight one, just as we expected here tonight. Insure One, the insurance superstore, will save you as much as 20%. Enjoy affordable payment options and receive instant coverage. Check the yellow pages or dial 1-800-INSURED. And you can lock in on those savings. 1-800-INSURED for Insure One. Our halftime score, 24-22 in favor of the Elgin Maroons. Bob and I will be back. We'll send it back to Jeff Beck now at the Channel 38 studios for our halftime activities.
Foot action is running the point. You must see what others do not see. Break down what is designed to stop you. Innovate. Create. Do you have the foot action to run the point?
Foot action is also where to get the Marbury 2 from and 1. For every action, there's foot action.
Chicago sports fans are known across the country for their savvy. What's the primary source of that savvy? The savviest sports writing team in Chicago, the staff of the Chicago Sun-Times sports section. It's a team that writes with style and substance. A team that doesn't just cover, but uncovers, too. A team that's concise, precise, and feisty. Come on now, get savvy. Get hold of the Sun-Times today.
Join me, Reggie White, and my wife Sarah on a Holy Land tour to Israel. We'll spend 10 glorious days visiting all the biblical sites, including Nazareth, Bethlehem, Jericho, and the eternal city of Jerusalem.
Reggie's getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday, and then in just a few short weeks, he'll be leading this exciting tour to the Holy Land.
Join us for this once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Don't be left out. Call now, 1-800-322-8622.
From San Diego, California, site of this year's Super Bowl 32, join us for the Super Bowl Prayer Breakfast, Sunday, January 25th at 6 a.m. and again at 1 p.m.
It's not opinion. It's not sensational. It's no-nonsense news from around the nation and around the world. It's the American Times.
Weekdays at 6:30 and 10:30 on TV 38.
Halftime Scoreboard is brought to you by the Chicago Sun-Times. To get a better handle on prep sports, get your hands on the Chicago Sun-Times.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Halftime Scoreboard. I'm Jeff Beck, and we're joining you live, and I do mean live, from WCFC TV 38. It's halftime between Elgin and St. Charles, where Elgin is leading St. Charles by a score of 24-22. Now, we'll get back to that game in just a few minutes, but meanwhile, let's review the final scores of the games played this evening by the Chicago Sun-Times Super 25 basketball teams. Let's get right to the scoreboard as we remind you this scoreboard is brought to you by the Ganella Baking Company. We bake to differ since 1886. First off, on the top 25 scoreboard, number 25 Thornwood, a winner tonight in overtime, 53-48 over Thornton. Thornwood moves now to 2-2 in the Sickety East Conference. It was an overtime affair. Eddie Curry had 24 points, 6 rebounds in the ball game for Thornwood. Number 24 Schaumburg, a winner, or rather a loser tonight. A big upset here, 60-51 to Conant in mid-suburban South action. Moving on to number 23, Hoffman Estates. They win tonight 53-50, that in mid-suburban South action. Jason Lang came in the fourth quarter and played very well. He had 6 of his 9 points in the fourth quarter. Sika South rivals now, Rich Central and Rich East. Rich Central moves to 4-1 in the conference, a 60-56 winner. B.J. Davis, 21 points as he comes out of his shooting slump. We move on now, down to number 18, Thornridge, over Shepherd, 62-37. That's the Sitka East battle. Edward Gibson had 14 points in the ball game for Shepherd, or rather for Thornridge, who moves still perfect in the conference. East Suburban Catholic, we've got another upset, this one in overtime. Notre Dame loses to Marist, 64-58 in OT. Matt Meyer and Mike Riley had 18 points apiece for Marist as they knock off number 17, Notre Dame. Mid-Suburban North action, Fremd, a 90-63 winner. They're victorious. They move on to 5-0 in the conference, and the Vikings playing well. In the Upstate 8, another upset. In overtime, Larkin moved to 3-5 in the conference with a 65-58 winner over number 14, Waubonsee Valley. We'll have more scores to share with you, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Join me, Reggie White, and my wife Sarah on the Holy Land tour to Israel. We'll spend 10 glorious days visiting all the biblical sites, including Nazareth, Bethlehem, Jericho, and the eternal city of Jerusalem.
Reggie's getting ready for Super Bowl Sunday, and then in just a few short weeks, he'll be leading this exciting tour to the Holy Land.
Join us for this once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Don't be left out. Call now, 1-800-322-8622.
It's not opinion. It's not sensational. It's no-nonsense news from around the nation and around the world. It's the American Times.
Weekdays at 6:30 and 10:30 on TV 38.
From San Diego, California, site of this year's Super Bowl 32, join us for the Super Bowl Prayer Breakfast, Sunday, January 25th at 6 a.m. and again at 1 p.m.
That's the thing about Browns, it tastes better if Browns Brown's chicken is what you crave, now's the time to come in and save.
Right now, for just $8.99, enjoy 8 big pieces of crispy Brown's chicken in any large side order. Try one of our new ones like Caesar salad, broccoli and cheese, green spinach, or hot cinnamon apples. Just $8.99.
That's the thing about Brown's, it tastes better.
Attention golfers, it's time to pick up one of the hottest new items on the market, the Chicagoland Golf Directory. It's filled with 144 pages of valuable information on every public and private golf course in the area, plus information on driving ranges, pro shops, golf schools, and instructors. The directory also includes maps, prices, directions, phone numbers, and most importantly, 350 coupons valued at over $5,000. Pick up a copy at your local course or call 708-445-1111.
Welcome back, everyone. The prep game of the week is at halftime between Elgin and St. Charles, and the Elgin Maroons are leading the Fighting Saints 24-22. Now, before we get back to the second half in St. Charles, let's take a look at the remaining final scores of the top 25 ranked teams here in the Chicago area. And a reminder again, the Ganella Baking Company is sponsoring this top 25 scoreboard. They've baked to differ since 1886. To number 12 we go now. Naperville North and Wheaton North, 68-61. Naperville North, Henry Damercant had 24 points in the ballgame. Naperville North moves to 6-1 into Page Valley action. Sitka Central, number 11, Hillcrest, 63-59 tonight. They go to 5-0 in Sitka Central action. That over TF South. Moving on down now to number 6, Richards, I believe, is our next one on the board. It's live TV, folks. There we go. Richards, 88. Oak Lawn, 57. Sitka North action. David Bridgewater had 23 points in the ballgame. 88-57 the score. Richard moves on now to 2-3 in the conference. Number 5, Zion Benton, 75. Stevenson, 42. Zion Benton in North Suburban action is now 6-1 on the year. And finally now, number 3, Fenwick, an 11-point winner over Mount Carmel. They moved to 7-0 in Catholic North action, a 74-63 winner. Quentin Gilmore had 10 of his 14 points in the final quarter of that ball game. Well, hey, like I said, it's live TV. Get those scores to you as quickly as we can. Sometimes they just kind of slide them in here. So thanks for joining us. Hey, and congratulations to all of this evening's winners. And watch this Monday's edition of the Chicago Sun-Times for Taylor Vale's update on the Super 25 basketball rankings. Well, that's it for the Ganella Halftime Report. In the fourth quarter, we'll bring you all the final scores from Chicago area ranked and non-ranked basketball teams played tonight. I'm Jeff Beck. Thanks for joining me. We'll be back again with you next week with the latest in high school sports information on Prep Weekly, followed by another exciting Prep Game of the Week. Stay tuned for the second half of the game between St. Charles and Elgin.
Foot action is running the point. You must see what others do not see. Break down what is designed to stop you. Innovate. Create. Do you have the foot action to run the point?
Foot action is also a way to get the Marbury 2 from and 1. For every action, there's foot action.
They jump in. They jump out. They jump in. They jump out. Chevy Venture. They jump in. Fun-filled family entertainment. They jump out, especially with that optional automatic sliding door. Never thought their favorite ride would be out here in the lot, now did you? In one more time, out. Yeah, they'll be asleep by 9.
Now get 4.9% financing for 48 months on the Chevy Venture minivan.
Experience the ultimate outdoors adventure, the Chicagoland Fishing, Hunting, Travel, and Outdoor Show. Over 250,000 square feet of fishing and hunting gear, marine dealers, charter captains, travel and resorts, and more. Get inside tips from the pros like Babe Winkleman, Fish Fishburne, and Fred Lucher at the free seminar series. Fight for your life at the AM 1000 Sharkmania. Fish the Sports Authority Trout Pond. Feel the rush of the Outdoorsman 3D Archery Range. Test your skills at the Daily Herald Casting Pond. Plus, every day, the first 1,000 attendees get a free gift. For information and tickets, call 800-323-5155.
Hey, discover the soy solution to powering up your workouts. All new ProVantage. soy-based performance enhancer, and more. Call their toll-free number and find out more about Provantage. 888-982-LIVE. That's 888-982-LIVE. High school students, college coaches. Here's a way to bring them all together and get exposure for both. It's the In the Spotlight website on the net. 888-374-3038 is where you'll get more information, or check out the In the Spotlight website yourself. I've had a chance to see it, Bob. It's fantastic. They have a lot of information on there, very timely, and it's pretty neat. I liked it. So we'll get ready for second half action here. How about your impressions of the first half, Bob, what we see?
Well, I think right at the end of the first half, it was interesting to see St. Charles go into that 1-3-1 zone. A lot of times you say, well, it's hard to play a zone with a great shooter like Harrington out there, but one thing a zone does, it stops his penetration, and he likes to penetrate. He's very good off the dribble.
Long jumper for St. Charles beginning the second half. They get the rebound, and as Dotson tried to go up with it, he is going ahead. He'll get to the foul line. Let's take a look at how this all broke down in the first half as Harrington gets the foul. Let's take a look at it here, Bob.
Well, you can see why the game is even, Bill. 24-22. You can see the score is even because the statistics are very even. Nobody is really dominating the other team in the first half.
Give that foul to Ludeman. That's his first. And the first shot for Dotson goes down. He now has 5. And I've got to give Dotson a lot of credit. He's not having a great shooting night, but he's working hard under the boards. He's making something happen, even if he's not scoring a lot.
Well, Billy's not getting a lot of attempts. You got to shoot the ball to score. He's only had 4 attempts the first half, and what's happening is some of the other players are, taking shots before the ball can get to him. So he's been pretty steady the first half. He just hasn't seen the ball much.
Good, and the baseline was cut off, and as they tried to get it into the hands of Ludeman, it was stripped away, and St. Charles has it with a chance to take the lead in the game. Dotson. They go downstairs, and nothing but maroon jersey. Somehow they came out of there and almost wrestled the ball away, but Elgin went ahead and got the ball back, and there was a little bit of a push and shove in there as Harrington flies through, didn't get the shot. Ebert tried to keep it alive over the end line and out of bounds to Elgin. They have the ball back. Let's see how it, or St. Charles rather, they have the ball back. Harrington in double figures, the only player in double figures. St. Charles with a balanced group here in the first half. Smallwood came off the bench for 2 late hoops for Elgin. Dotson driving through. Did he hit the end line? He did. Out of bounds, a turnover for St. Charles, and Elgin has the ball back.
I think the key, Bill, tonight and why the game is so close is neither team has shot the ball real well. These are two pretty decent shooting teams, both shooting down 33%. Somebody's going to have to get hot the second half.
And Harrington, by the way, Harrington, if he scores 31 points, he ties a very famous player who we all know. Harrington missed. He got the rebound with help from one of his teammates. A name that really stands out, a former great Northwestern star and in the NBA as an executive today, and that's Rick Sund, if you remember him. Jumper for Gooden goes down, and Brent Gooden approaching double figures. He now has 9. If Harrington scores 31 tonight, he ties Rick Sund for 3rd on the all-time Elgin high school scoring list. Long jumper did not go down for Kwiatkowski, and he'll pull the court from anywhere. Don't let his size fool you. The ball tipped away. Kwiatkowski has it. Ludeman feeds it across. Dan Jones. Ludeman looking downstairs.
St. Charles has had little trouble with movement in their offense, Bill. They're trying so hard to get the ball inside. There's a lot of standing around on the perimeter.
Jump shot from the foul line area is short. Wouldn't go down for Brent Gooden. And out comes St. Charles now. Harrington. Harrington and Collier, the guard line. Actually, they've got 3 guards, Gooden out front, and as they put the ball inside, a foul was called. They gave it to Dan Jones. That is his first and the team's first. To the foul line, Ludeman, who is a 60% foul shooter for the Maroons. And early in the second half, Smallwood coming in. Smallwood definitely does give this team a more athletic look and feel when he is in there.
Probably one of the best athletes on the floor when he's in the ball game with his jumping ability and quickness, Bill. He lends a whole different blend to the ball game. I think that's the trouble that St. Charles had with him defensively when he got in there. They had him covered once or twice, but he made up for their good defense with his quickness and quick moves and good jumping ability.
Ludeman with 3. Missed the second one. Rebound tipped around, but finally sealed off by Kwiatkowski. And St. Charles, trailing now by 4, has the ball back on the attack. Long jumper by Dan Jones, puts it in. Dan Jones now has 8. He got the feed from Palya and drilled the shot. Cuts it to 2, and out of bounds. St. Charles gets it back after the turnover. How about that?
Well, credit Jason Franco with that turnover. It wasn't an organized press. He just hung back in the backcourt and kind of surprised him and threw the ball out of bounds.
All right, next week, hope you'll be with us on Friday, January the 30th. We start later for this game, and so we invite you to join us. They're going to have Channel 38. We'll have a special Super Bowl Sunday beginning at 9:30 in the evening, going through to 10:30. It's the Super Bowl Sunday breakfast. They'll have highlights of that breakfast, and then we'll follow that with our telecast. So we hope you'll be there for that game, as we will be back with another in our weekly series of games, and we'll pick one of the best games in the area and be happy to bring it to you here on Channel 38. Harrington missed us on the shot. Rebound, a hard fight for it, and Gooden's going to get to the line. He was fouled on the attempt to follow up on the shot. Dan Jones, it looked like, got it. His second, team's second.
As you can see by the jump shot there, what's happening in the second half now is Harrington just isn't getting a lot of good looks at the basket. People are coming over to help out, put a hand in his face, and he's very deadly if you give him a second to set his feet, if he's got time to see the target there. But credit St. Charles with good defense right now.
Ludeman to the line once again. Yep. 1 for 3 now from the line. So he'll have one more. And number 22, Marcus Howard, steps in, and Mike Roth to the bench.
That last basket by Jones on the other end for St. Charles, Bill, was one of the first times anybody's got a real good look at the basket. So one of the reasons the shooting percentages are down, there's a lot of good defense being played out there also. You got to give the defense credit when you see those good shooting percentages drop way down into the 30s.
Dotson, Palya, and Dotson looks down the medium post area. Kwiatkowski overfires that time, and the rebound comes out. Harrington will push it up the floor, beats it ahead. Howard overshot it, rebounded Dotson. St. Charles on a run out, spinning move, foul. And once again, Franco out on the front end of that. And a foul call. Let's go down to Dan Richmond on the sidelines. Dan?
We're joined by Dee Howard, the mother of number 22 for Elgin, Marcus Howard. And Dee, Marcus is a 4th-generation player here at Elgin, and your husband was a star at St. Charles. The big question is, where does Marcus get it from, your side or your husband?
Well, it's definitely my side, because 4th generation means something. Family is family, and blood is blood. So 4 generations of me, 1 of Jeff, no biggie.
Marcus is having a good time as a sophomore?
He is having a real good time, yes.
Good luck to you and Elgin.
Thank you very much.
Back to you guys upstairs.
All right, and the scramble is on, Dan. The ball came loose, and Elgin finally came up with it. That's how this game has been tonight. What a war it has been here at St. Charles. On the drive, good strong move to the hoop for Gooden, and he will get foul shots on this one as he draws a foul. He pinned his ears back and took it to the hoop, and Dan Jones has his third. Oh, they called it on Kwiatkowski, excuse me. That's his third. And the team's third. So Gooden will shoot a pair here.
Gooden is really strong, Bill. He's excellent in going to the basket. Very difficult to stop in a one-on-one situation. He just lowers the shoulder, and big kid, big body out there, big frame on him. Just comes right down the lane of the basket hard.
6'5" and about 220 for this young man. Split the foul shots, but look at Smallwood. Smallwood with 6 on the follow-up. Was he on a step ladder or what? Man, oh man, that lead is 6. That's a big basket for Elgin. St. Charles now on the attack. They get it downstairs for Dotson. Wrap around pass in the lane, and it comes loose. On the attack, drive to the basket, foul is called. And there will be shots coming up. Harrington will get to the foul line as he was driving, and a foul was called. Hey, we'll remind you that our telecast made possible by the good folks at Ganella Baking Company. We baked the difference since 1886. It is Swellafella because what else? It's Ganella. Dotson got the foul. That is his third, team's fourth. Long jumper won't go as we return alive here. Outlet pass. Witkowski tried to feed it over for St. Charles. The ball's loose. Harrington came up with it. Approaching 3 minutes to go, third quarter. Jumper on the way. That's a home run ball for Matt Ludeman. He has 7, and that is Swellafella. G-O-N-N-E-L-L-A. You know what rhymes with that. The left-handed hook shot goes in.
That's something you don't see very much anymore, Bill. Nice hook shot.
Dan Jones from the post went right to his left hand, and he has a dozen. That lead at 7 now for Elgin.
If you watch Harrington, what makes him so effective, Bill, is he's got such tremendous hands, both right and left. You watch a guy like that play, it's hard to tell if he's a lefty or a righty.
Insure One, the insurance superstore. Are you tired of tackling those high insurance premiums? Tomorrow morning, dial 1-800-INSURED and start saving money right away. Insure One. 2:35 remaining, third quarter of action. I see Roth back in the lineup now. They feed the ball out front. Gooden pins his ears back and gets the basket. He has a dozen. Boy, Brent Gooden is having a nice game. He's now the leading scorer for Elgin with a dozen points. The senior, a 3-year starter, and he's played his entire career in Sean Harrington's shadow. The boys he's standing out right now. Dodson for 3. That's pretty Swellafella. Just like Ganella bread.
Well, right now, Harrington's out of the lineup getting a breather. It'll be interesting to see if St. Charles can take advantage of that.
Gooden once again thinking about taking it down the line. Witkowski defending him, trying to force him right. Comes back, wrapping left, drops it off. Smallwood, shot block, foul. Witkowski, his 4th. And that's trouble. 5th team foul.
Smallwood is just too quick in the post. He gets the ball down there. He's covered fairly well, but he's got such a quick vertical, Bill. He's up in the air very quick over the defensive players before they can get on him. Quickest guy on the floor and use it to his advantage. Yes. Harrington wasn't out of the ball game long. He just got about a 1-minute blow. And which was important there, while he was on the bench, they scored 1 basket in 1 possession. And the next time down, now they're in a position to get 2 free throws.
Pretty good performance by their teammates there. And Smallwood puts it in. He has 7. Also, we have a foul situation now, Bob, with Witkowski with 4 personal fouls. Clem is back in the ball game for St. Charles.
Well, Smallwood just lends a whole different dimension to the floor right now, Bill. Of the 10 players out there, he's obviously the quickest and has the best leaping ability. He can really make things happen quick when he's in the ball game.
Dotson to the baseline, gets around one man, bails out on it. 3-pointer. That is Swellafella. Another loaf of Ganella bread. Get it out of the bread truck. And Roth answers with 2 on the other end for Elgin. And now we're starting to see the pace pick up a little bit here.
That was a backbreaker. They got a nice 3 at the other end, and Elgin got it back. A nice 2-pointer. Only took them 4 seconds to get 2 of those points back.
Dodson for 3. Didn't get it. Rebound. Smallwood is able to get it. Feeds it out. And here comes Harrington. Look at him able to change direction, and he was fouled as he got inside the lane. So Harrington, they gave it to Dan Jones, and that's his 3rd. That was a rakedown foul, 6th team.
Well, there's a lot of shooters, and then there's guys that can create off the dribble. Sean Harrington just has tremendous ability to put the ball on the floor and score in a variety of ways. He's got a good crossover move, a good hesitation move. Uses all the offensive moves, you free yourself. That's why he's so hard to guard out there.
Yeah, Harrington at the line now. He has a dozen. Ties Gooden for the leading scoring in this game tonight. It was a 1-on-1 situation, Bob. That was the bonus. That was the 17 foul. Got the second one, 13 now. as he is in double figures and the top scorer on the floor. You see the time remaining. Third quarter play. We've got a lot of good basketball ahead. Tried for the reverse. Smallwood blocked it, got the foul. He got a little body there. Smallwood has his second.
Now this isn't even Smallwood's man, but you'll see him real good help as Roth gets beat on the baseline. Smallwood leaves his man. Good timing, very close, nice block with the ball, but good call by the official because the body was on him, Bill.
Yes.
But he was really up there, really making him adjust his shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, that makes you think twice. You get that ball jammed back in your face, and you'll think twice about it. Palya gets 2 here, and he gets it down. He has 6. Palya's a good foul shooter, leads the team at 77%. Outstanding player. Had a lot of playing time as a junior, and boy, he's really blossomed in his senior year. Came in averaging over 12 a game. He's at 7 right now. They're going to need a good night from him.
Well, Elgin looks like they're going to play for 1. They were going to go for 1 there with a 7-point lead in 41 seconds. They had the clock in their favor. They were going to take their time, and now this is dangerous. You put Harrington on the line, a good free throw shooter.
Franco got the foul. It pays to advertise. You know, you can reach 3 million households, 1 million people attending. Oh, and order a copy of tonight's game. Any of those 3 million people can order one of our copies of the game tonight. 312-988-9080 for any game in our series. Be sure to catch that. And the cost of that is $25. And, you know, that's a great thing thing to give to a relative who cannot be on hand to catch a game. You have a relative in the area. You'd like to know how one of the young men is playing out here on the floor. What a great gift that makes, you think?
Especially an exciting game like this. The gym is packed. The atmosphere is great. Great high school basketball.
Well, it really is. We hope it's coming through to you at home, fans. We do. This is what high school ball is all about. Long three-pointer didn't go. Howard got the rebound after the miss. And now here comes Elgin flying out of there with it. And they have a chance to hold for a shot. Howard.
They'll hold, and Harrington will take it.
And there's Harrington. Gives it right back to Howard. You see the time remaining. Ebert. He won't take it. The long jumper missed everything. And the rebound is taken out of there. And that will be the end of the quarter with that missed shot. And so we are at the end of 3 quarters of play. This was a very, very good 20-point quarter for Elgin. And they now lead in the ball game 44-35.
Chicago sports fans are known across the country for their savvy. What's the primary source of that savvy? The savviest sports writing team in Chicago, the staff of the Chicago Sun-Times sports section. It's a team that writes with style and substance. A team that doesn't just cover but uncover.
Your workouts will never be the same after you've tried all new Provantage, because it delivers all the benefits of soy and more. Call their toll-free number and find out more about Provantage. 888-982-LIVE. You know it. High school students, would you like to get exposure for college coaches? Here's a way to do it by joining all of the talented athletes in the In the Spotlight Network. And it's on the website, and it's a great spotlight. 888-374-3038 is the number.
Well, Bill, we're going into the 4th quarter now. As we see the crowd, they're getting into it. It'll be very interesting to see if St. Charles makes any adjustment in strategy. Sometimes when you're down 9 going into the 4th quarter and you're coming off where your opponent's Elgin had a very good quarter, sometimes you might see something a little different happen now defensively.
Elgin outscored St. Charles by 7, 20-13 in the 3rd quarter. It was a great quarter for them. Long jumper goes in. Harrington drills the 3.
Well, you just can't sink off of that guy. When somebody penetrates, everybody can help. But the guy that's guarding Harrington cannot sink off to give help like you did that time.
Or else you're going to have the announcers talking about Ganella bread again. And I'll tell you, Ganella is swell, fella. Long three-pointer doesn't go down. St. Charles tried, but the miss there by Ludeman. And coming out is Elgin with it. Behind the back goes Gooden. Penetrating, driving, stripped away. Tried to take it too far. Dodson feeds it out. And on the attack, Jason Franco. He's one of the team leaders from the foul line. Dan Jones didn't get it. And right now, St. Charles is in kind of a dry zone here, Bob. They're having a hard time scoring.
Well, that's why, Bill, I think you got to generate points out of your defense. They're playing good basketball. They had Dan Jones was wide open on that shot. They just haven't knocked down their open shots. And if you're struggling offensively, you've got to use your defense to generate some points for you.
Howard kind of forced the shot a little, didn't get anything from it. And Dodson grabs the rebound. Straight to here from Marcus Howard's mother. Long three-pointer goes in. It was Dodson who knocked it in. He has 11, and that was Swellafella. As good a taste as you're going to get with Ganella bread. That's the taste of success, sweet success. 47-38. Harrington on the drive, scoops it and scores with the left hand. He's up to 20 points now. Very impressive night for Sean Harrington.
Well, St. Charles is at the point now, Bill, where they just can't be matching baskets. They've hit a couple nice threes. They've got to stop Elgin coming down at the other end.
Here's the drive for St. Charles. Ball fed out to the sideline. Saved on a tremendous effort there for St. Charles. Jason Franco saved it. Dodson feeds it out front. Gets a return feed. Screen set by Dan Jones. But Dodson can't get loose. Franco into the paint. Right into the hands of Gooden. Elgin has the ball back. Harrington. Look at him go one way, the other way. Up she goes, hits it again. Harrington with 22. He looks unstoppable out there. He needed 17 to move past Chuck Brandt into fourth place. He has done that. If he scores, let's see, 9 more, he ties Rick Sund. Long three-pointer. Didn't go for Dodson. And St. Charles is having difficulty, and they are running out of time a little bit here. They have to find a way to get it going. Harrington again for 2. Missed it this time.
Kind of forced that one up, Bill.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when a shooter gets on a roll.
Polyev feeds it over. Jones, Dan Jones at the high post area. They're trying to post Witkowski back there. And a foul as Polyev took the shot. He'll get to the line. Let's go down to Dan Richmond, who is on the sidelines. Dan?
Guys, every time Sean Harrington makes a basket, the Elgin fans behind the bench are pointing their fingers at the St. Charles fans saying, you can't stop him, you can't stop him. Harrington, 7 points in this fourth quarter. He must be like a fine wine or a good cigar. He just gets better as time goes on. Back to you.
That's a pretty good analogy, as a matter of fact, Dan. Marcus Howard got the foul. There's timeout on the floor. Howard has his third. Well, we're talking about Sean Harrington. I'll tell you, he'll move past. If he gets 31 tonight, he ties one of the greatest scorers and one of the greatest players ever at Elgin. Insure One, the insurance superstore. If you're tired of tackling those high insurance premiums, how about doing something about it tomorrow by dialing 1-800-INSURED and start saving money right away. Insure One. 51-38 now. The lead is at 13. Insure One, the insurance superstore. Bob, what are we looking at? Hell, with 4:36 left to go.
I just don't think St. Charles can wait any longer, Bill, to continue playing the game as if the time isn't running out on them. Time is running out. And when you're in that situation, you've got to change the tempo of the game, even if it may backfire on you. I'd like to see them come out in a press or a trap or do something to speed up the tempo to create some points off their defense. They just cannot continue to guard Harrington and Elgin man-to-man. And with that clock going against them, expect to come out with a victory. They've got to change the tempo here.
Polyev has hit his 2 previous foul shots. And now make it 3 in a row. That cuts it down to a dozen.
I just think, Bill, that Harrington is very tough to stop by himself. I keep dwelling on that point, but it's very difficult to stop if you're trying to guard him one-on-one.
And he has the ball right back in his hands. And I think your point very well taken, Bob, because he is a guard. It's another dimension. He can handle the ball literally and create his own shot without any involvement of anybody else.
And if you foul him, he's a great free throw shooter, can stand up there and knock the free throw down. That's what happens when you get the ball out of his hands. I would rather see somebody else on Elgin with the basketball, if I'm St. Charles, than Harrington.
Backdoor cut for Gooden. Wasn't there. Dodson with 3-point range. Dan Jones. Feed it out front.
Bill, there is a disadvantage sometimes in trying to go in low. When you're trying to really go in low all the time, you find your 4 perimeter players really lacking movement on the outside sometimes.
Witkowski, good strong move to the hoop. His shot was blocked, and then he hit the end line grabbing the rebound. I'm not sure who blocked it, but Smallwood was in the area, and you get this feeling that somehow Smallwood was involved. Good look at Jim Harrington, hoping for his 17th win of the season to keep the team undefeated. They knew that coming into St. Charles tonight was going to be a great challenge. Ron Johnson, a great coach, just won his 700th game here recently. In fact, the Elgin folks honored Ron Johnson with a plaque for him before the game started. Bob, that was a very nice moment, I thought.
Well, Elgin, the clock is their opponent right now, and it's you know, they're using it very well.
Well, they got to. St. Charles has got to come out. There's no choice.
Well, I mean, they could just stand out there and hold the ball in 3 minutes and 12 seconds. The game's going to be over. They've got to up tempo their defense.
Pretty good defense there. Kwiatkowski tried for the steal. Couldn't down the lane. Lost it out of bounds. How about that? St. Charles gets the turnover.
Well, like I say, Bill, you've got to take the ball out of Harrington's hands. I'll take my chances with one of those other 4 guys. I just do not want Sean Harrington killing me every time down the floor.
Into the forecourt. Inside the hook shot. Jones is right there. He hooked it left-handed. He's back right-handed. Drops it right in. Dan Jones is having a nice game. Coach was telling me, Ron Johnson says that he has a lot of basketball savvy, and we've seen that. He's got a hook shot with either hand. Roth. Ball taken away. Smallwood slipped at the high post. Dodson on the feet for the basket. Dan Jones again. 14 points. And here comes St. Charles roaring back. They've got it down to 7. Timeout. 2 minutes, 32 seconds left. Don't tune away from this one. We are not done. We have a lot of time left in this game. Both of these schools are so proud of their accomplishments. St. Charles, what about this? Winning the state championships in soccer and swimming, not just the men, but the women. That's what you call a double-double in a time that it's ever happened in the IHSA by the same school. 4 state championships for St. Charles. They're very proud of that. What an athletic tradition. We know Elgin, of course, has a great tradition as well. Let's go downstairs to Dan Richmond. Dan?
Right before the Elgin Maroons turned the ball over, about 30, 40 seconds ago, Coach Jim Harrington was yelling at his players, patience, patience, patience. I'm sure that was stressed during the timeout. He wants his team to be patient on offense. Back to you.
Well, now the scramble's on for the ball again, and it's out of bounds to Elgin.
Here's what Coach Harrington, I bet, told him during the timeout. Get that ball in Sean's hands. Sean, you come and get the basketball. The turnovers have been created as a result of Harrington not getting the ball.
In the forecourt, Harrington scores! Foul! 24 points for Harrington.
I'm sure his dad pulled him aside and said, son, would you go get that basketball and keep it in your possession so they can foul you and get up on the free throw line?
Oh. Man, oh man, when he gets it, that's trouble. Kwiatkowski fouled out on the play. He fouls out at 2:18 to go and finishes the night with 5. So that's double trouble for St. Charles. They lose one of their starting forwards in the process, and Kwiatkowski, their tallest player. Harrington has been incredible, hasn't he? Take a look at where he stands right now. And Rick Sund, he passed Chuck Brandt tonight to move into 4th. We told you when that happened. And now there will be the try for the three-point play. We've given 25. He needs 31 to tie Rick Sund. He's 6 points away if he hits the foul shot here. So he may not get it all this game. We'll see. But I know Rick. I've known him a long time. I know you have too, Bob. And certainly one of the greats ever to be produced there, and very much loved. Anybody who knows Rick knows what a terrific guy he is. And I'm sure he's pulling for Sean Harrington as much as anybody. 25 points for Harrington. And that lead now is back up to 10. Dodson.
You want to score fairly quick here. You don't want to use up too much time.
Dodson for 3. That's Swellafella. That's just like that great Canelo Bread. He's hit 3 straight three-pointers here, his last 3 baskets. All three-pointers. Dodson is coming alive. And not too soon at all. They really need him. Ludeman for Elgin.
You want to double team him now. You want to double team the guy that's...
And they just couldn't get the double team there fast enough, Bob. Foul was called.
Number 44, Eric Johnson,
And they gave it to Dodson. That's his fourth, and that's more trouble. Now the fouls are really digging in. And this turns on the mandatory two-shot foul at 1:47 left in the fourth quarter. Now it's going to be 2 shots from here. Ludeman with 8. So the super bonus, as we like to call it, is in effect. The remainder of the way for Elgin, and that's very important for them.
Well, they've got to hit their free throws coming down the stretch because they're going to get fouled. St. Charles, on the other hand, wants to get the ball inbounds, get it up the court quick, not use too much time on offense, but get a good look at the basket.
On the drive, the two-pointer goes down for St. Charles. Palya has 11. He's in double figures, approaching his average, and a timeout will be taken. The lead is at 7 points for Elgin at this stage. And by the way, we need to celebrate something that's very special. Our Cost Broadcast Sales President, Jim O'Boy, welcome to the family. His second grandson, Dana Nicole, and we have a brand new viewer, granddaughter, forgive me, did I say grandson? I meant granddaughter. Dana Nicole, parents Mary and Jim O'Boy. How about that? Big sister Caitlin, welcome aboard. A new viewer for our prep game of the week, and we're recruiting them early, Bob. That's our new approach now. We're getting them as soon as they arrive.
And I'd get that Ganella bread in his hand right now, right this evening.
That's right. Get them started right with a little bit of Ganella. All right, Elgin, we'll put it in play. We have 1:36 left. St. Charles needs a steal. They need something here. Now it's in Harrington's hands, and it's very hard to do much about it. Harrington has it across.
As soon as he gives up the ball, Bill, you've got to go trap. You've got to double team the ball when it's out of his hands.
Ball fed underneath. Howard missed on the shot. They had a layup there, couldn't connect on it on a great feed from Smallwood, but it wouldn't go down. Now St. Charles has to hit a big basket here. They've got to have a 2, a 3 preferably if they can get it. Long one, Dodson didn't get it. Rebound, fought for, and Elgin gets it. And boy, they were all scrambling for that ball. Long lead pass out. Gooden on the drive. Count the basket. That may be the backbreaker. Great feed from Sean Harrington.
He looks up the court real nice. Gooden goes into the basket very strong. See they come over on the foul. Dan Jones, and actually Dan went flying into the bleachers and got a little shooken up after that. 4 on Dan now.
Dan Jones with his 4th. And to the line, Gooden will have a chance to convert the 3-point play. He's over his average, well over. He's doubled his average for Elgin tonight. He's played so well. This is a good, solid post-up player. And this is the type of guy, he does things that coaches really appreciate. And I know his coach, Jim Harrington, really appreciates the things that he does. It's the little things that make this guy a good player. On the drive, good strong move from the baseline for Palya. He's up at 13. He's over his average now. And so it'll be timeout again. And we'll take a moment to say thanks for the people who helped to make our program possible here. So we'll go ahead and thank Elgin Dr. Superintendent Dr. Marvin Edward, Mr. Ron O'Neill, who is the principal, and Athletic Director Mr. Tim Heinrich. And for St. Charles, Dr. Francis Costo and Mrs. Nina Nerazzoni, the principal, and Mr. Wayne DeMar, the athletic director. Thank you, folks, and to St. Charles, particularly for a nice welcome. This is a beautiful school here. It's a wonderful place, beautiful campus. Don't forget, we're going to be coming on a little late next week. We will begin our telecast at 10:30 rather than 10 o'clock. And so join us for that, because we'll be following the Super Bowl Sunday breakfast special. That'll be aired between 9:30 and 10:30. We'll have an outstanding game for you. And don't forget, if you would like a copy of any game in our series, call 312-988-9080 and ask for the sales department. It costs $25, cost broadcast sales, for a copy of tonight's game or any other of our Game of the Week telecasts. And boy, this will be a great one to get. It's been a tight ball game. Timeout on the floor. And Elgin now will put it in play. Harrington puts it in. Trying to keep the ball out of his hands. This is Howard with it.
Might have to foul a little quicker, Bill, at this phase of the game. When they had the ball in Howard's hand, I would have gotten the foul very quickly there.
Luderman was fouled instead.
When you take the ball out of bounds, like Harrington, he's a great passer, but there's one disadvantage in having your best free throw shooter take the ball out of bounds. He's going to get it into somebody with a lower percentage free throw shooter, then you got to foul him right away and put him on the line.
Yes.
This stage of the game, the clock is very important to St. Charles. They have to foul quickly if they're going to foul.
Well, and every shot opportunity now, Bob, is a two-shot foul. Luderman, he missed it. So the strategy has already paid off.
Well, you want to foul, you want to get the ball in bounds and go quickly. I've really been impressed late in the game with the driving of Paglia and Franco, the two guards on St. Charles. Have really shown me quickness going to the hoop late in the game.
St. Charles gets a lot of help. Dotson up for three, left it well short. Fans thought he was fouled. Timeout. Elgin, as Brent Gooden called timeout as he was falling out of bounds. And so Elgin has possession, 7-point lead. Timeout on the floor at 29 and 6/10 seconds. We'll remind you that any rebroadcast or retransmission of any part of this broadcast without the written permission of Cost Broadcast Sales Incorporated is strictly prohibited. So we hope you've enjoyed our telecast tonight. Copyright 1998 Cost Broadcast Sales Incorporated. Bill Hayes and Bob Hallberg here. Boy, it's been a nice game. Look at the band here. They've been into it. The fans have been into it. It's red hot in this gym. Harrington will put it in play.
Foul right away.
Smallwood. No, they didn't get him right away. Instead, they stole the ball. And a foul as Paglia was trying to pass through, or Cason Franco, rather, was trying to pass through. And Smallwood picked it up. That's his third. Team's fifth.
Well, they get a little trapping here. They come over and do a nice job quickly and take the ball off Elgin with the press. Franco going to the basket, gets fouled.
That was Bill Griffiths who made the steal. He got it in bounds. Timeout. Jones hit the shot. He has 16. And that cuts it down to a 5-point lead. 23 and 3/10 seconds left. Bill Griffiths has come in, number 41, a senior. The only senior who doesn't start. He came right in. What did he do? Got a steal, got the ball back. That's a pretty heady performance for a senior.
Well, there's still time left in the game, Bill. Only down 5 with 23 seconds left to go. I would have liked to see St. Charles a little bit play that defensive intensity as far as the press goes earlier.
Yes.
Good defensive team. They're fundamentally sound with their defensive scheme. However, I would have liked to see a little bit more trapping as, you know, they've been successful with it anytime they've tried it. So I don't think, other than Harrington, I think Elgin doesn't appear to be a real sound ball handling team. You put it in Elgin and Harrington's hands, it's very hard to get the ball out of his hands. Very few turnovers by Harrington, but some of the other players are turnover prone.
We'll remind everybody that Golf Illinois 1998, the #1 golf show in Chicago, comes to Arlington International February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Everything for golf. The Golfers Golf Show. Test your swing. Try the hottest new clubs from major golf club manufacturers. And attention high school golf teams. Beware that the Golf Illinois 1998 offers a 2-for-1 admission to all high school golf members with a school ID. And you saw the number on your screen. Now, foul was called on the inbounds attempt.
Well, you saw what Coach Harrington did that time, Bill. During the timeout, he had Mike Roth take the ball out of bounds, and he made sure the ball went inbounds to Harrington. He was kind of anticipating a foul. Harrington just caught the ball and cupped it. Going to go down, have the opportunity to put 2 free throws away, and almost put the game away if he can knock these 2 down.
Harrington with 25 points. Key moment in the game right here. Missed the first one. Now, Elgin has missed 3 foul shots in a row down the stretch here, Bob, and that really has kept St. Charles in striking distance. There's still enough time.
Well, they're helping him up by missing at the charity stripe there.
Yeah, but Harrington splits. He has 26 now.
You don't want, if you're Elgin, you don't want a quick score here. If you're St. Charles, naturally you do.
Oh, yeah. You've got to do it. And Kwiatkowski drops, or Dan Jones with it, or Griffiths rather. Bill Griffiths, his first 2 as he lays it in. Good offensive player And he put it in, timeout immediately, and it's a 4-point game.
See, what's happening is they're scoring so fast, Bill. When you miss the free throw, you better play a little bit better defense so the team doesn't come down and score quickly on you. Somebody gets left wide open. It's a beautiful pass by Franco underneath the basket, and the guy's just left wide open for the layup. They're almost a 3-point play here. Came very close to being a foul there and picking up the 3-point play.
Yeah. Griffiths knocked it down. Timeout. And now the wheels are really grinding now as far as this situation is concerned.
Well, St. Charles has done a great job with the clock, but also Elgin has helped them. They've had the opportunity to put it away at the free throw line. They just haven't converted. They missed their free throw. St. Charles comes down the floor and scores a basket or gets fouled within 4 seconds. If you're Elgin, you want more time being taken off the clock. You want St. Charles to spend a little time offensively. Instead, they're getting right around the Elgin players and getting a nice, easy bucket.
You see the time remaining. We're right down to it. This is the moment of truth. If St. Charles gets a steal somehow, look out.
That's the long touchdown pass now.
Yeah, that is a distinct possibility. They get it to Harrington. They'll have to foul him. They do immediately. And 2 seconds ticked off of the clock. And again, it's Palya. He has some fouls to give. That's only his second. But here's where we're looking again, Bob, at that mandatory 2-shot foul. And the likelihood of Harrington missing 2 in a situation like this is very, very slim.
It's really changed the approach to free throw shooting from the old days of the one-on-one. You had to make that first one in order to get the second one. Now with the 2-shot foul, it really takes the pressure off the shooter.
Yeah, he hits that first one anyway. 27 points for Harrington.
If he makes this, it'll be a 6-point lead. They're going to have to come down and get a quick 3. They won't be able to drive to the basket this time.
3 points short of tying Rick Sun for third on the Elgin scoring list. And a turnover on the inbounds pass for St. Charles. And certainly if there was an issue, that makes it very, very tough now for the Fighting Saints, who have a lot of fight, but there isn't any time left on that scoreboard. That's the big problem. Inbounds release pass, stolen away. Jones got it, feeds it ahead. The score! Haldia with 15. And they're just hold it. They won't take it out of bounds. The game is over.
Well, Elgin tried to make a ball game out of it for St. Charles. Just gave him the ball and let him come down and hit 2, but the clock was a factor there, Bill. There just wasn't enough time for St. Charles to pull this one out tonight.
Yep.
Well played game, a lot of defensive intensity. Some good individual offensive moves. We saw Sean Harrington give us everything which we thought he would tonight. Early in the ball game, Dotson started out a little bit slow, but really came on in the second half for St. Charles.
Let's go downstairs to Dan Richmond. Dan?
We're joined by Elgin Sean Harrington. Sean, tonight you had 28 points. You've become the 4th leading scorer in Elgin school history. But these St. Charles Saints did not want to go away.
And we knew it'd be a tough game, and this is a tough gym to play in. And we always struggle here.